So if you have been connecting with your ex and talking to them, it may seem like things are going really well. Maybe the two of you are starting to rebuild the spark of connection between the two of you. That's great. That's excellent. I do not want to discount how far you have come. I know you have put in a lot of work in order to get here. However, there is something very important that you must put into place if you want to have a strong relationship that's going to last into the long haul. And that is what we're going to get into in this video. So after going through this process of healing emotionally, resparking communication, and rebuilding that spark of excitement and connection and all of that sort of stuff with your partner, you may feel as if things are going really well. And in a lot of ways, maybe they are. But we have to really address the unspoken, unfinished business, baggage, history, and all that sort of stuff between the two of you if the two of you are to go ahead and to create a new future and new relationship together that can stand the test of time. Because if these things are not addressed, hidden resentments can grow underneath the surface that can undermine your relationship into the future. There is probably going to be some period of time where you're going to have to talk about the past. I know that all of these other videos that you watch from other people are probably telling you never talk about the previous relationship, don't bring it up, just, have happy times, just send them text messages, just, flirt with them and use reverse psychology on them and use no contact on them until they come crawling back to you, right? That's not going to actually give you a sustainable long-term relationship. What you need to do is, do a lot of the things that we've talked about already. But then we also need to address the lingering doubt that's in their mind, maybe even in your mind as well too, which is what is going to make this time different? Why should we get back together when maybe it didn't work before? Why should we give this another shot when we just ended up in a breakup? What is going to make this different again? Maybe you have been demonstrating certain changes to them. Maybe you have been showing them that you have changed your priorities, or that you are trying to understand them better, or that you're communicating better, or something like that. That's great. But you're probably also going to need to have a conversation with them where you lay this all out. What you're going to want to do is to explain to them and have a conversation with them within the state of rapport what it means to be back together in a relationship again. What is going to be fundamentally different? And this should not happen out of the blue, just so you know. This should not be like the first thing that you talk about with them. Get these other things in place first, but when it does start to seem like, okay, this is very obviously veering towards a relationship, this is obviously veering towards us getting back together again, that is when you want to start to bring up these things because, again, as we have talked about in the 5 stages of getting back together, they are probably going to start to sense that the realistic possibility that you and them are going to, start moving in this direction, it's going to bring up certain doubts, certain fears, certain concerns. This is no longer a hypothetical thing. What would it be like to connect? What would it be like to talk? What would it be like to meet up? What would it be like to spend a weekend together? This is now like, oh, wow, I have feelings for you. Where is this going? What am I going to do about this? Am I ready to take this step, this leap, this jump forward into a relationship with you? And we have to be willing to address this. We have to be willing to talk this out with them to give them confidence that they are not walking back into the same relationship that they walked out of in the first place, but also to give you confidence that this is not going to just melt down again the next time the two of you have a disagreement, or you don't have to walk on eggshells around them because, there are some sort of, delicate little kitten that you need to handle with kid gloves so that they don't, break up with you again and they're the one calling all the shots and all that sort of stuff, because that is obviously not a great relationship dynamic that I would not want to have in my life, and I don't think you would want to have either. When the time is right, you want to be able to create the kind of meaningful connection that is going to create the right circumstances that allows the two of you to honestly talk about this. And this is where you can have that kind of conversation about what the future looks like, what you've been up to, what is going to make this different, hey, address the elephant in the room. It seems like we both have some sort of feelings for one another, etc. I know that this may cut against the grain of a lot of what you have heard other coaches tell you, but this is something that you can absolutely do once you have that emotional connection in place. Again, this is not something that you should be doing, out of the blue. Like if you've not talked to your ex in a month or something like that, do not let this be the first conversation that you have with them. You want to take some time to build up the connection that the two of you have before you introduce something like this into the conversation. And you might be wondering, okay, that sounds great, but what if this conversation doesn't go well? What if this doesn't go the way that we want to? What if they have, reservations or concerns or hesitations, etc. And I think that this is all very normal. And I think that it would be foolish to say, okay, there's, only one possible outcome of this. So what I want you to do next is to head right over here and check out this video on the 5 outcomes that you can have from trying to save your relationship after a breakup. Please head on over here. This is going to be very insightful, and this will let you know what you need to do to make sure that you end up with an outcome that you actually want. I'll see you over there. Take care, and I'll talk to you next time.